My mother was schizophrenic, and because of that, I'm a twin, and my twin brother's normal, so both his hands are normal, his body's not deformed, unlike mine. So for whatever reason, the voices began to teach her that Danny was everything good and I was everything evil. So he therefore was heavenly and godlike, and I was basically the spawn of evil. And she basically was trying to prepare me for hell. So I went through torture, severe abuse. So the abuse was just constant. Everything from bones, scars, burns. I would hide in the basement all the time, usually under the steps, where I didn't think she could get to because it was a small crawl space. My twin brother used to bring food and stuff down to me, and so that I would have something. But I very seldom would venture outside or upstairs. When you grow up in that environment, you spend your entire life trying to make people want you, feel that, and because you want that feeling of acceptance. You want somebody to say, hey, you're value, you're needed and you're wanted. And I spent even well into my adult life pushing for that and being successful and making sure that I was always wanted or needed. But I have PTSD, and it sounds crazy, but when I have a flashback, I actually relive every moment. And it's not that you just remember it, like people will say, oh, it's not real, it's not. But when you have the PTSD and you have the flashback, I see, feel, taste, smell, just like it was happening then. And I can't differentiate the difference between then and now. It is that real. So I had lost a job. I was feeling hopeless and down. I tried to commit suicide. And it's not that you necessarily want to die. The hardest thing for people to understand is that you may not want to die, but you want peace. You want it to end. You panic and you just want it to, you don't know where to go, where to turn to. You're grasping at anything. And at some point you don't even know where to start from. And then I had lost everything, so I ended up going to the mission. Very terrifying experience when you first walk in, and you don't know what it's going to be like. Although it's not what you think. In my mind's eye, I was picturing rundown, dirty, filthy people laying on the floor, and it wasn't any of that, which was somewhat of a comfort after you finally make it through the door. The food and the shelter was great, but it's really what the mission does in addition to that. But it's also that it gave me a sense of belonging. I started volunteering in the kitchen and helping cook and help clean anything. I felt wanted and needed. They seemed to care and truly care. Even after I was at the mission, I was still having issues with flashbacks and a suicide attempt. And I remembered when I woke up out of about a month and a half after being in a coma, first thing I got told when I woke up at the hospital was, oh, Jeff Hagenauer and some of the people from the mission have been coming by to check on you. So it was kind of a new experience to have someone actually show up. They saw value in me where I guess I'd never felt I had any. And I think because they truly are trying to show Christ's love, they do spend a majority of their time trying to give the gospel and making sure that someone realizes that not only do they care about them, but Christ loves us. It gave a hope, kind of like Revelations 21:4, where it talks about your tears will be wiped away and things will be new. Well, and no more pain, no more suffering. For a guy like me, that's a huge benefit. And just the hope and the realization that, hey, one day, no more tears, no more pain, no more sorrow. I can't wait. And the mission tries to give that sense of belonging and that sense of feeling so that you can have that hope, that you can begin to see it. I don't have to try and prove anything anymore. I have somewhat of a sense that someone cares. They definitely provide a sense of hope, that they give that feeling, but it's not just about food and shelter. It's the fact that they begin to develop a sense of belonging for people. Nobody's going to want me just because I'm me. Well, the mission wanted me just because I was me. And that was a great thing. So they cared enough to see those things. So that compassion for somebody they didn't know or didn't have, and to still show, hey, you are valued, you are wanted, regardless of what's there, regardless of the situation.
Did you find hope there?
Oh, very much so. And I still go back all the time to volunteer. I come back in and tutor the kids. I go back in and cook when they need help. I get more out of it than what I'm giving to them. So for the rest of my life, I will always be grateful for what the mission has done and given and provided, not just for food and shelter, but for the sense of hope and the sense of belonging that it provides.